for a stretch. One year they had won 3 games, that's it. Chip Kelly was an assistant on that team. And in the off-season early, the coaching staff got together to talk about how to turn it around. And they were escalating the passion. It was, we got to win a conference championship. No, forget that. Let's win a national championship. Yeah, let's win a national championship. And they just went off, bouncing off the walls about winning a national championship this year. And when everybody calmed down, Chip Kelly, assistant coach in the back, raised his hand and he said, how about we just win the day? And to them what that meant was every single thing that you do, at the moment that you do it at a championship level. That means if you do a drill in practice, don't do the drill at a championship level, do this rep at a championship level. Then in the same drill, the next rep at a championship level. And whether it's school, whether it's your family life, whatever it is, win the day means every moment, what you're doing in that moment doesn't have to be a big thing. It's usually not a big thing, but make it at a championship level. And that's one of the great things about football and talking with coaches is that you see that not everything is obvious. As a matter of fact, a lot of things that are true and required to be successful are the opposite of what you would think logically if you weren't involved at the level that some of these coaches are. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, I need, whoops.
I told you he was going to do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, I need Dana. Will you come be a quarterback? Come on, I need a quarterback. Okay, I need one more person. I need a defensive end, a defensive lineman. Can you move? Yeah, can you move? Is your knee okay? Okay, come on up. Come on up. Here we go. Yeah, give them a hand, folks. They're about to play football against me. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. What's your name?
Anna.
Anna. What did you do to your knee?
I have like an unstable patella.
I played 12 years in the NFL. My patellas are in better shape than yours. so you'll get it out of the way now, and you'll be fine. Okay. I'm sorry. You said your name?
Anna.
Okay, and this is?
Dana.
This is Dana. Okay, now, Dana's going to be my quarterback. Dana is an artist whose work is currently exhibited in the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Johnny Cash Museum. Next week at the Art Crawl down on 5th Avenue at the Tennessee Art League, her stuff's going to be there. So we want to make sure as a quarterback, she is protected. So Dana, I want you to go right back there, and all you have to do is stand there and hope you don't get hit. Okay, you, Anna, you're the defensive player. Right back there. Go a little farther that way. Okay, now I'm left tackle.
We need to move these chairs.
No, we're good. So the ball is there. Okay, center, guard, me, or check that. We're on the wrong side. No, this will be fun. Okay, I'm the right tackle. I'm the right tackle. So, and Anna is the best pass rusher. She's J.J. Watt. Okay. Now, doesn't it make sense? Now go ahead and stand here. Now, doesn't it make sense that if I want to protect my quarterback, I should draw a circle around her, and I should keep my back to her as I go around the circle? Doesn't that make sense? So when J.J. Watt, Anna, take one step up, I should turn right away, right, and keep my back to the quarterback. Now I keep going. I keep on this circle with my back to the quarterback all the way around. Now doesn't that make sense? Yeah? Now if I do that, here's what's going to happen. She's going to get annihilated. She's going to be an all-pro, and I'm going to get fired. And let me tell you why. Come back over here, Anna. If I do what's logical and I just turn like this, she has 2 ways to go. So now Anna, come around the corner. If she comes around the corner, I can't stop her from turning that corner if I turn my back too soon. Now come back over here. If I turn my back too soon and she comes inside, yep, go in there, I lose leverage and she has an angle. Now here's what I should do. This is what doesn't make sense unless you have the right coach. Come back over here. I should keep my shoulders as square to the line of scrimmage as possible, as long as possible. Now they will turn eventually. But the first thing I want to do is take a set and stay square. Now when she comes upfield, 1 step. Okay, now she takes another step upfield. I do it again, stay as square as I can. Now if she comes inside, I can step in and stop her. If she continues around the corner, then come around the corner. Now I'll turn eventually, but now she can't get the corner, right? So what's logical to keep my back to the quarterback on a circle will actually be the wrong thing to do. I have to do what doesn't make sense. Give Anna and Dana a hand, you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Now, this is part of the thing of win the day. This is part of the thing about how to think. Players, athletes, train their bodies. But what they don't do is learn how to think. And how to think has a lot more to do with your success than your physical capabilities.
Thank you, Ian, of the All-Pro, and Dana, I guess you made her David Carr, just a sitting duck.
That's pretty fun.
So is it performance or is it confidence, Trevor? You were talking about how you think, but with these players at the highest level, is it performance? I mean, how do you describe that?
Well, let me start there with, we talk about how to think.
Yeah.
One nugget, and this is something to take away as well. Always think, as you're an athlete now, always think of the positive of what you do want, not the negative of what you don't want. How many times do you see, like a receiver, going through his mind, okay, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Your mind takes you towards your dominant thought. Whatever you're thinking, that's what will manifest itself physically. So if you're thinking as a receiver, don't drop it, don't drop it. What's your dominant thought? Drop it.
Yeah.
And you see him drop it. What should he be thinking? Catch the ball securely. Catch the ball securely. When there was an NBA All-Star game a number of years ago where there was a fan that got to shoot three-point shots to win like $10,000. And all he had to do was make one more shot. He'd already made a bunch of them. He was in a roll to win his 10 grand, right? And so here comes an All-Pro. His name was Dan Marley of the Phoenix Suns at the time. And Marley was mic'd up. And Marley walked out there, and you could see how excited this fan was, because now the All-Pro is going to come out here and give me the last bit of advice so that I can make this three-pointer and I can win my 10 grand after making a bunch of others already. And here's what Dan Marley said: don't leave it short. So this fan he just ate it up, right? So what's his dominant thought? Leave it short. So what does he do? Clang off the front, right? What should he have thought? Clear the front of the rim. Clear the front. This is one of the things about how to think as an athlete that are important. And we could do an hour just on that. But as a takeaway today, right now, make sure that you as a young athlete, or the young athletes that you know, understand to think the positive of what they do want, not the negative of what they don't want. And always associate the work with the result. You know, I didn't run in the NFL. I didn't run wind sprints in March in the snow until I couldn't move, because I liked running wind sprints in March in the snow. I ran those because I wanted to play the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night in October. And guys on my teams over the years, all they would do was complain about the wind sprints in March in the snow. And all they were was miserable. But the guys who associated that with the result did the same amount of work but had a much better outcome. How to think is important. And by the way, there's a book called The Psychology of Winning by Dennis Waitley. It was written back in the 50s or 60s. It's an old book. It's a little dry for today's audience. But in the very first page it says, the mind cannot distinguish between reality and that which is vividly and repeatedly imagined. So take away from this right now, young athletes, learn how to think with as much energy as you learn how to play.